What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to From The Bench Vols. I'm your host, Will Meadows, and welcome to our Monday edition of the show, where we have a lot of Tennessee football to talk about once again. Tennessee picks up a big SEC win this past weekend at home inside of Neyland Stadium, a revenge game against the Arkansas Razorbacks. Maybe not the prettiest game from Tennessee, but nonetheless, a victory for the Volunteers. Your best football is going to be needed this weekend as the Vols are coming up on the third Saturday in October, the iconic rivalry game against Alabama, and Alabama is playing better football than anybody in the country right now, to be quite frankly honest with you. Today, we are going to react to this past weekend, what we learned about Tennessee, kind of a preview of what's on the horizon this weekend, and all that good stuff and more. But before we get into any of that, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, leave a like, leave a comment, share it, all of that good stuff. Make sure you guys are following the socials here listed below. And without further ado, man, let's get right into it. So like I said, Tennessee comes up with a big win against Arkansas, 34-31. Like I said, maybe a little too close for comfort for some Tennessee fans. In my eyes, you didn't play your best football, and you still got a win inside of the Southeastern Conference, which is the hardest conference to play in college football. I know that, you know that, we all know that. I don't want to hear anything about the Big Ten. We know that the SEC is the hardest conference in football, but that's besides the point. You got your win this weekend. You moved to 5-1 on the season. You're a fringe top 10 team in the country, 11th in the country right now. And the biggest game to date is here. You are going to Tuscaloosa. Is Josh Heupel going to get the monkey off of his back that he cannot win on the road? Because even, we've talked about it on this show multiple times, we are pro Josh Heupel as it gets over here, but he has struggled on the road nonetheless. They haven't struggled at home. This past Saturday, inside of Neyland Stadium, again, 34-31. Joey Aguilar leads the way with 221 yards passing, 1 touchdown. And before I get into the rest of that, I saw a stat today that Joey Aguilar has had 30 straight games of 200 yards plus passing. That is unreal. Absolutely unreal. That is a crazy stat. All Tennessee fan in me aside, that is nuts, because I know obviously most of that was at App State. So a solid day for Joey Aguilar, but the run game is where it got done this weekend. Yardage-wise, but also in the end zone-wise. Deshaun Bishop with his best game as a Tennessee Volunteer, 14 carries for 146 yards, so over 10 yards a carry, and a touchdown. Got banged up. We'll talk about that a little more there. I think it was the third quarter. Got a big run, landed a little weird. It seemed like a lower body, a leg injury for Deshaun Bishop. Josh Heupel claims it's nothing serious, nothing long-term. Hopefully he's able to play this weekend, because he's been a huge part of the Vols' success, especially these last 2 games with Mississippi State and Arkansas. Scored the game-winning touchdown against Mississippi State, and then was the key factor to the successful day for the Vols offense this past Saturday. Joey Aguilar added 5 carries for 59 yards, had a huge 28-yard run to kind of put the game on ice there at the end. Peyton Lewis had a solid day, 8 carries, only 33 yards, but was clutch when it mattered. 2 touchdowns as well for him. A good day for Peyton Lewis. Star Thomas, 10 carries for 23 yards. Just didn't do much today, but again, that's the glory of having 3 really, really good running backs. The Vols still got it done on the ground today, which, and arguably their best running back had his worst game of the season. Through the air, Braylon Staley was the best receiver for the Vols today. 6 catches for 109 yards. Miles Kitselman had his best game, probably as a Volunteer in general, but especially of the season. 5 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown. Mike Matthews, 3 catches for 46 yards and 0 touchdowns. Added 12 yards through the ground, though, on a little jet sweep action. And Chris Brazel, the guy that has just been the do-it-all, everything for the Vols this year. Only 1 catch for 5 yards. A win is a win. They still got it done through the air, so you can't complain. The defense, man, that is going to be the main takeaway from this show. But some big days from some guys. Jordan Ross had a crazy good game. By far the best game in his time in the orange and white for the former 5-star Jordan Ross. Had a big day, forced 2 fumbles and recovered 1 of his own, also had a sack. So a big day for Jordan Ross, but the defense, man, this is what we've learned. I said we were going to talk about what we've learned about this Tennessee team. I'll start with the offense, so we can talk about the good side of things. Joey Aguilar is still good. This receiver room, seemed like really the biggest problem and question really on the team coming into this year, and they are arguably the best receiver room in the SEC. I think they're probably second outside of the team that we're about to play over there in Crimson. Alabama's receiving core is absolutely ridiculous, and Ty Simpson doesn't even like to throw the ball to Ryan Williams, but the receivers, man, have been huge. I feel like that's what we've learned. Spoiler alert, the receivers have been big. We know that, but it's just how deep they are. We saw Mike Matthews led the team in receiving yards against Mississippi State. Before that, with Georgia, it's Chris Brazzell. Now it's Staley. We've seen Staley take over in games against Syracuse. All these guys are having their moments. Chris Brazzell's getting most of the shine, and rightfully so. I mean, he is on the national stage in every statistical category. But the rest of these receivers, and even Miles Kisselman got in on the fun this past week, the pass catchers have been incredible for Tennessee. 6 games of the year, halfway through your season. They deserve all the praise that they receive. They have been incredible, and I feel like they complement each other really well. Braylon Staley is kind of your deep ball guy, had a 42-yard catch against Arkansas. Chris Brazzell really does it all, is your big body guy, and Mike Matthews is kind of your to-the-sticks guy. He can obviously catch a deep ball too, but he seems like your to-the-sticks, a 15 yards and a comeback route guy. His hands have been a little questionable at times, but he has been just as solid and consistent as everybody else on this team. The receiving core has been incredible up to this point. That's kind of all we learned about the offense. I mean, coming into this game, Tennessee leads the country in points per game. It's not like it's some shocker that this is a good offensive-minded football team, but the defense, man. You guys know I am not biased on this show, but I am Tennessee. I'm a homer in a sense. I try not to be biased. I try and see everything from I'm not a reporter. I'm not acting like this is some professional thing, but as I strive to do that in my, when I grow up, what I want to be, I try and keep this as professional as possible, even with it being a Tennessee, podcast. But sometimes you just have to speak the truth, and that is what I'm going to do about this defense right now. It's just not good. I guess they're not good. It's a question mark for me, because I was joking with some buddies that were in the front row at this Arkansas game. Like that, you watch Tennessee play defense, and it's 7-yard run, 4-yard run, 11-yard run, 20-yard run, and by the time you blink, Tennessee is the team playing offense against Tennessee is already in our territory in field goal range, and then we'll force a fumble. And it's just like, well, yeah, like you're happy, and why wouldn't you be? You just got a takeaway. But like it's still lingering in the back of your mind that they just ran it up your neck over and over and over. Because then the next drive they'll come out and they'll do just that. This defense reminds me so much of the defense that was here Hendon Hooker's first year with Byron Young and Jalen McCullough. Theo Jackson was a big guy on that defense. There's some solid players littered all over it, but it's takeaway or bust for this defense. It's very hard for me to recall them getting a normal stop. Obviously, they have. I'm over-exaggerating that. But it's takeaway or bust for this team. Now, the defensive line on the bright side was great. David Hobbs, getting him back this week was awesome. He got a little banged up towards the end of that game, but he had a sack this game, had a ton of QB pressures. Having David Hobbs back on that defensive line was great. The defensive line is good in the pass rush side of things. I mean, they lead the country in sacks as of before they went on their old bye week. They may still do it. I don't want to look that up for everybody, but they get after that son of a gun playing quarterback for the opposing team. But they can't stop the run if I went back there and played running back. Now, I played some running back in my day. If you are from Knoxville, the Knoxville area, that Central JV team my freshman year, I was the hell of a running back. So that's you're saying that, but I was also kind of a dog. We'll say you, for an example, because you probably aren't the running back that I am. You could go play running back for the opposing team against Tennessee, and you'd probably get 5 yards a carry. They can't stop it. at all. It's hard to watch sometimes. They just get gashed and gashed and gashed, and they either score or somehow they're stripping a fumble away from the other team. Taylor Green had 2 fumbles, but he also, extended plays all night long. How many rushing yards did he have? 63 yards rushing and a touchdown on the ground. That's not going to cut it. You know what I mean? Ty Simpson, I'm not saying that he's near the runner that Taylor Green. Ty Simpson's the best quarterback in the country. He is. Like, if you turn on the tape and watch Alabama play football, Ty Simpson, I have raved for what feels like 3 episodes in a row about how good Alabama's receiving core is. I just said it 5 minutes ago. But watch Alabama play football, and what is getting them going is Ty Simpson. His ability to make reads, the throws that he is making. He had a few throws against Missouri this past week that were just NFL level, put it in the bucket, right where it needs to be throws, and it won them the football game. He had a corner route to Alabama's 5th best receiver to seal the game, and that ball was 5 feet away from the receiver before he even turned his head. That is NFL level stuff. Ty Simpson is the best quarterback in the country, in my opinion. Tennessee's going to struggle with that. That doesn't take a sports media journalist or a genius to know that. But then, the homer in me, man, I just feel like Tennessee likes to hang around in these type of games, and maybe, just maybe, it's finally time that Josh Heupel gets the monkey off of his back. I'm not going to give my prediction right here. We'll do that on Thursday when it gets on down towards the week. We may have a guest for that episode. But, man, you just got to kind of watching that defense, man, sometimes. It's hard to watch. Now, you can say, oh, well, we could have Jermod McCoy back this week. And, yes, anybody who watches this show knows I'm the biggest Jermod McCoy fan there is. I think he's the best defensive back in America. But even if he does play, which I don't think he will, but if for some reason he does play, he won't be 100%. And he's going to have to go guard Isaiah Horton and Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard. I don't know. It's what did you learn this weekend? You guys let me know in the comments. I learned that Tennessee is going to score points. That's not the problem, even though they didn't really capitalize off of turnovers this weekend, and they still put up 35. Tennessee's going to score some points this week, or throughout this week and throughout the rest of the season. But it all comes down to, when do you want to put your foot in the grass and stop the dadgum run? Because Tennessee has not been able to do it all year. Arkansas, Mike Washington, 19 carries for 131 yards and a touchdown. I just said Taylor Green had 63 yards with his legs. Braylon Russell, their backup, had 47 yards, still averaged 6 yards a carry. Mike Washington averaged 7 yards a carry. You can't live with that at all. If Jam Miller, which I don't know if he's going to play this week, he got knocked out against Missouri. He may still be playing. If Jam Miller consistently gets 4 to 5 yards a carry on first down for Alabama this weekend, the Volunteers are in for a long game this Saturday. And I hope they don't do that, because I'm going to the game, and I really want to see us win. I'm going in with low expectations, which I shouldn't do that, man. We're talking about a program that went to the college football playoff last year. I shouldn't be doing that, but I still am, man. I just watched this Alabama team play football, and I know a lot of Tennessee fans, they lost early in the year, and you want to say that Alabama's not that good, this, that, and the other. If you watch this team play football, Alabama is the first, second, or third best team in the country. I think that Alabama, Miami, and Ohio State, in no particular order, are the 3 best teams in football this year. So we'll have to see. They've gone on the road and had 2 top 15 victories against Georgia and now against Missouri. So I don't know, man. Again, you guys let me know what you learned from this week. I learned that Dalen Hobbs helped this defensive line a lot, and that this defensive line is going to get after the quarterback. I didn't learn it, but it really put into perspective for me how much of a problem this run defense is for this football team, and that Tennessee's going to put up some points. So, mind-boggling news for us out there. But Tennessee's got to be able to stop the run. I hate, and you guys know this if you tune into the show often, I hate coming on here after a win and we're talking about things that suck. because I can't stand Tennessee fans or fans of sports teams in general like that at all. Like, do you guys remember where we were 6 years ago with Tennessee? We'd be dying to be 5-1. I mean, that's just how it is. But I still think this team is a very good football team. I think they have arguably the best offense in college football, which can win you some football games. It won us one 3 years ago in particular against this same football team on the third Saturday in October. So you guys let me know in the comments what your expectations are for this weekend, what you learned this past week. I think that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. Again, just, I'm going to leave it at that. I will see you guys on Thursday. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope everybody has a great start to their week and the rest of their week on this fine Monday morning. I'll see you on Thursday, and go Vols.